Hey everyone, Coach Investor here with another video for you today. In today's video, we're going to compare Coca-Cola and Pepsi and see which one is a better buy right now and to hold for the longer term. Now, obviously, both companies are huge in the beverage markets, but we're going to see which one is a better buy and a better stock to have in your portfolio. Obviously, I'm going to go over what the company does, what they offer. Most of us already know what they're doing. Obviously, we're going to go and do a little stock price analysis to see what happened in the last couple of months. And then at the end of the video, I will have a conclusion, my own opinion on which one I think would be a better buy right now. So stay tuned for that. And before I get started, again, I want to thank everyone that has been subscribing to the channel lately. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so please help me get there by hitting that subscribe button. And if you like the videos, maybe leave it an early thumbs up, as it really helps me out grow the channel and get my videos out there to you guys. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so first, let's talk a bit about Coca-Cola. We all know the brand, because we've seen it everywhere. We probably all have drank that soft drink, but obviously Coca-Cola is not just those soft drinks with lots of sugar. They have built a huge portfolio, as you can see here. Most of them are the #1 share position. Well, they have sparkling, soft drinks, juices, dairy, plant-based, waters and hydration, coffees and teas, and then obviously energy. Energy is the only one that is #2, but all the other, obviously sparkling and soft drink, is more than 50% of their retail value share. Juice, dairy and plant-based is only 10% or so. I wouldn't be surprised if that number would rise. And then water and hydration is only 15%, coffees and tea 15% as well. This is huge in Asia, for example, so I think that will grow as well. And then energy, I would have thought energy would have been a bit more, especially now with all the gaming going on, but that's 15%. And it's really nice to see that their CEO's vision is really being executed, as you can see right here. He said, we're going to be a total beverage company, and I think that's exactly what is happening right now. Before, Coca-Cola was really focused on those high sugary drink, Fanta, Coca-Cola, Sprite, etc. But now they're really getting into that vision that he had said a couple of months and years ago. So as you can see, Coke has expanded its portfolio year over year by adding so many new products, and that's only a glimpse of what Coca-Cola owns as a whole. Like I said, things like coffee and tea work immensely in the Asian market, and that's something Coca-Cola wants to continue on doing, is producing those specific types of drinks that are, well, maybe targeted for a huge market, but a very specific market, and maybe try and grow that into maybe the Western world or so. That will make the revenue grow a bit more. As well as for the water and hydration, the AHA drink is the equivalent of bubbly is from PepsiCo. We're going to talk about that in a bit, but AHA, same thing. They want to rejuvenate the brand and make like drinking water with maybe some extra taste to it, like as special as drinking a Coke on a sunny day. A fresh cold Coke is always good to have. I love Coke. I think we all know Warren Buffett loves Coke. I think he drinks around about 5 Cokes a day. He's owned the Coca-Cola stock for as long as I can remember. I think he has around about 400 million shares. So obviously for him it makes no sense to sell the stock, even if it goes back down a bit, because he probably bought it at the lowest point ever. And even if it goes lower, he still gets paid millions and millions in dividends. And this is why I think, well, Coke, if you have time, if you can hold it for your lifetime, I think Coke is a must in your portfolio. It's not that expensive. It's a good value stock. That's the example of a good value stock, in my opinion. But let's dive into Pepsi right now. And I almost forgot, Coke is coming out with their first ever alcoholic drink. I think it was reported some time ago that they will maybe consider doing it, but now they're actually doing it. I think it's coming down to the UK first. It's going to be under another name, not the Coca-Cola name. I think it's going to be something like EH Canning brand. We're going to pop up right here to be sure. It's a huge move for Coca-Cola. It adds another category into their portfolio, and obviously I think, well, with the younger generation or so, by younger I mean people over the age of 18 or 21, alcoholic drinks, but not that strong, with a bit of soft drink, is the perfect mix for a good a good social party. So I think it might be a huge move for Coca-Cola moving forward. Right, so Pepsi is a bit different than Coke because Pepsi has beverages and snacks or food. So here are a couple of brands under the PepsiCo name. Obviously there's Pepsi, there's 7-Up, Tropicana, Gatorade. Yes, Starbucks, but not Starbucks the franchise, Starbucks the bottling, the one you can buy in the supermarket. There is obviously SodaStream, which is one of their biggest acquisition ever. It's the water that can be bubbly and flavored as well. Huge market, especially nowadays. Obviously you have foods as well, Cheetos, Lay's, Quakers, and many more. So we're going to look at a couple of key numbers I think are very important to know. So as you can see here, this was taken from last year's annual report. Obviously at the end of this year we're going to get a newer one, but it's interesting to see that their mix of net revenue, food is actually 54% and 46% is only beverages. I would have thought that beverage was bigger than foods, but apparently I was wrong, so that's an important aspect to know as well. Again, Pepsi, huge company with a huge portfolio, and I think they're more diversified because they're as well in the food industry and in the beverage industry. Then we can see where the revenue is actually coming from. We can see that 58% is from the US and 42% outside the US. So still, the US remains a big market for PepsiCo. Obviously, if they can shift and have maybe a bigger focus outside of the US, we might see those numbers change. Because well, obviously the world is bigger than just the US, but if they can shift that a bit more and be more diversified in more countries, because obviously now when you go to most restaurants in Europe, for example, most of them will have Coke and not Pepsi. If they can, I don't know, change that in a way, obviously extra revenue for them, maybe a more incentive for an investor to choose Pepsi over Coca-Cola. Lastly, I want to add, like I said, Coke has AHA, which is the watery flavored water drinks, and PepsiCo obviously has SodaStream, but now they're coming out with their newest, they want this to be their newest multi-billion-dollar brand, which is bubbly. Like I said before, Coke has the AHA drink, which is their flavored waters. Obviously, PepsiCo already has SodaStream, but now they want it to be a new multi-billion-dollar product, which is bubbly. As you can see here, Michael Bubbly approved. I will play a little clip. Maybe that would explain it much better than I can. So as we just saw, I don't see why bubbly won't be a huge success for Pepsi. The cans look amazing. They probably could be customizable as well. Lots of flavors to choose from. I think it's like a hipster brand, and it will attract obviously a lot of youngsters. It's healthy, has no calories, probably has nice flavors as well. So I think multi-billion-dollar product, probably I would say that would be in the next couple of years. Alright, so let's do a bit of a stock analysis and then let's end this video with a conclusion. Alright, so let's first look at PepsiCo. So as you can see here, the highest point before the outbreak was $147, then its lowest point was around $103 or so. Then it went all the way up, like most of the stock market, to around about 139, 140 or so. Went up, down, up, down, up, down. As you will see here that Pepsi has actually, well, been pretty stable with its lowest and highest point in the short term, that is. It will always go back up to the 138 or so dollars and then always come back down to around $130 or so. That's why I put the resistance right here at 138 and a mini support here at $128. That's where we are today. We can see also that the uptrend line and downtrend line have always been respected. You can see it touched, goes back down, touch, goes back down. Here it touched, it went a bit back down, but then the daily closed a bit above it, as you can see right here. So the difference between its low and its high in the short term is only 7% or so. So pretty okay with the volatility there. comparing it to other stocks, and we will compare it obviously to Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is, I think, double that. So I would say if you want to enter, open a position in this stock, I think today, well, 128 would be a good price to get in. Obviously, that does not mean the stock cannot go lower, and if it goes lower, I think we might see 123 or so, because as you can see here, there's a bit of a support slash resistance point. But anyway, I think 128, if you want to open a position in this stock, would be great. It's a stock to hold in the long term. It's not a stock that will make you lots of gains very quick. Same thing with Coca-Cola. We will see just in a moment. So as you can see here, Coca-Cola, same thing, $60 before the outbreak, $37 at its lowest point. But as we can see here, there was a bit of a gap, something Pepsi does not have. There was a bit of a gap at around $50 or so, still didn't get filled. There's also a little gap here recently at around about $48 or so. So if the stock goes back up, first $48 will get filled, and then eventually if it breaks this mini resistance at $49, this $51 gap should get filled as well. But like I said, the gap in the short term for the low and the highs was double that of Pepsi, almost double. It's 13%. But here, same thing, downtrend and uptrend line have been respected. As you can see, goes all the way up, 49, almost $50, maybe 50 for a bit, then goes back down, all the way down to $43 or so. So again, Coca-Cola, if you want to open a position, I think 43, and if you want to wait maybe a bit more, maybe if it comes down to around this point right here, that's what, $41. I don't think that will make such a big difference or so. It's around a couple of 2% more. I think it's a good position to open. Pepsi pays you around $1 for dividend. Coca-Cola pays you 41 cents, but obviously it's a cheaper stock to buy. And again, this is a stock you want to own for a very, very, very long time as well. It pays a good dividend yield, and the stock, well, world-renowned stocks that will probably grow in the next couple of years as well. Alright, so as we just saw, both stocks have huge portfolios, both stocks have huge opportunities moving forwards with new brands coming in maybe every other year or so, a couple of acquisitions here and there as well. But I think the stock, maybe for an investor point of view, for me, I think Pepsi actually would make more sense since they're more diversified with food and beverages. But you cannot go wrong with Coca-Cola stocks. Hold it for a long time. If you can buy both. You're well diversified. But in my opinion, for the numbers I can see right now, I think Pepsi would be a very good play. Obviously, it would have been a better play at around about $100 mark, but I think now still a very good price to enter. But don't get me wrong, Coke as well. I actually owned Coke up until a couple of weeks ago. I sold it because I wanted to buy something else, but again, both are very, very good dividend yield stocks, so you cannot go wrong with either of them. That will be all for this video. If you liked it, consider leaving a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, maybe now's the time to hit that subscribe button. In my next video, you will be able to choose which stock I would cover, so let me know down in the comments below if you want me to cover NEO stock or Aurora and Afria, the comparison of both of them. Let me know down in the comments below. And as always guys, take care, stay safe, and see you all in the next video. Bye bye.